is in reference to killing Christians. Although others can interpret the scarlet or crimson red for the Roman Empire conquering other nations, persecuting them, oppressing them. But it's in Revelation 17 when they were in scarlet crimson color. And there was a reference in Revelation chapter 17 that the woman was drunk with the blood of the saints. So the reference of scarlet crimson red color is their martyrdom of Christians. Not in any nations. They might have killed heretics. They might kill Jews. They might have killed many other nationalities. But the reference of them being scarlet red color is during the Holy Roman Empire when they were persecuting the true Christians through the Inquisition. And you know, by history, there's a record of 68 million Christians, Protestants that were killed. So so you're asking for the year. I would say look for the year when they started persecuting Christians. Armstrong might have a different idea. Okay? So, pause.
When did they start this, the woman writing in a scarlet colored fish?
When the Roman Empire passed to become the Holy Roman Empire. If you remember, this is my sharing some time ago. Since I don't share it often, you might have forgotten it, but I'm going to repeat it right now. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. 5 are fallen. Brother Jackson and Brother Gan have different approaches on that. Brother Jackson and Brother Gan have different explanations for 5 are fallen. But before, it was a dilemma for me how to explain it according to the heads of the beast. You know, if you have a picture of Armstrong's drawing, illustration of Revelation 13 beast, the 7 heads in the cover page of that beast, the 7 heads are the head, not just the Roman Empire. We're not talking of Revelation 17, but Revelation 13:1. The beast that came out of the sea have 7 heads. But the heads were described as lion, bear, leopard, and dreadful, terrible beast. Actually, it didn't say 7 heads are of those 7 animals, but dreadful, terrible beast. Actually, it didn't say 7 heads are of those 7 animals.
The son of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
That's verse 1, right? Verse 2.
And the beast which I saw was like a good leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and
So the body, okay, so this is the picture. The body was like the leopards, the feet was like that of a bear, the mouth was like that of a lion, and the final description, the dragon gave power to the beast, indescribable beast. So now, this is from where I wish to base my 7 heads. You get the picture? So when you go to Revelation 17, 5 are fallen, 5 heads. If you're going to count 5 heads, just to help me, let me recall my dilemma before. 5 heads, you count from 1 head of a lion, 1 head of a bear. How many heads does a leopard have? 4. So, but it said 5 are fallen and 1 is. So during the time of John's writing, 5 heads are fallen, 1 is. That means to say, when John was writing, it should still be under the head of the leopard. You get the picture? But my dilemma is, before, we all know when John was writing the book of Revelation, it was already in the Roman Empire. So how do we reconcile this? For a long time, I told you this, if you could remember, I don't have any answer for this. Until now. Until just recently. If you remember, I shared it to you personally. And I have shared it to Brother Jerry. It might take them a long time to recall. But I'm going to repeat it right now. Because this is relevant to the scarlet crimson colored beast. To get ahead of it, I'll just say, the scarlet colored crimson beast is under the Holy Roman Empire. And the language they're using, what language? What language are they using? Wrong. Latin. That's the key. John said 5 are fallen, 1 is. The one that 1 is at his present time is the Greek language. They're still under the influence of the Greek culture. Even though the Roman Empire have conquered the civilized world, have united these nations around the Middle East, still the empire has a common language like we have the English language today, has the Greek language. You see? So the Greek language is that 6th head. Yes. Even though it's already the Roman Empire is reigning supreme, but still it's the language in the Roman Empire. I'm not talking of Rome, Italy. I'm talking of the Roman Empire. All the provinces of all the nations dominated by the Roman Empire, they spoke Greek. That's the reason the New Testament was written in Greek. Get the picture? So the Greek language, that's the 6th head. Yes. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is yet to come. The other that is yet to come is the Holy Roman Empire, using the Latin language. So the 7th head would be the Holy Roman Empire.
Holy Roman Empire.
Yes. And the 8th is of the 7th, that's the end time beast. And you know what language the end time beast uses?
Is it America in English?
Amen. Yes. If there was Pax Romana, there is today what we call Pax Americana. The peace of Rome, has been changed to the peace of the United States of America, the English language. You know, the United States promoted English more than the British Empire did, because she became the superpower nation of the world. What was once the mighty Roman Empire is now the American Empire. Of course, they don't call themselves an empire. But in Revelation 13, that's the beast that came out of the earth. The beast that came out of the sea, the extent that they reached is the Latin language. From the demise, temporary demise of the beast from the sea, there arose the beast from the earth, which became a superpower. And the language they brought is English. That's the 8th period. Now, let's backtrack.
Okay, before you continue, let me clarify.
5 are fallen, one is, and the other is not yet come.
5 are fallen. So, in verse 10, there is a 5, according to John, when he was writing. He said that there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen. Okay, so these 5 are from Babylon, lion.
The heads
The lion.
yes, the heads of the...
So lion is Chaldean language.
Yes.
Is that right? Chaldean?
Yeah.
Chaldean language, and then it is a 5 are fallen, including leopard.
The 3 heads of the leopard.
So, the lion, and then
The bear.
the bear, and then the 4 heads.
The leopard heads.
So, including the 4, that is already 6.
Precisely. That's why my dilemma, as I said a while ago, my dilemma was, how will I explain that the time of John's writing the book of Revelation, they were still in the 6th head. You see? That's my dilemma. That's why I told you a long time ago, even I think it was still in Binondo, that this is Jackson's version, this is Richard Gant's version, but this is my version. But my version could not still hold water. I do not see any corroborating evidence yet. So, I did not see any support.
Reconcile this. The 5 are fallen. If we said that from lion to bear, and then the plus 4 for heads of leopard. So how can we reconcile these 5 are fallen? If we say your dilemma is 6 heads.
Yes. So
How can we reconcile this?
So I just got this reconciled quite recently. I just reconciled this maybe a year or 2 ago, when I realized, you know, the sacred pronuncianist believers helped me see this, because they were so against the Greek. And I learned about the Septuagint. I learned about the Greek language being used to spread the gospel. I realized what John was writing about. Hello?
Okay.
The scarlet-colored beast is not the Roman Empire per se. You get the picture? It's not the Roman Empire. That's why I said this is related. The scarlet crimson-colored beast is the Holy Roman Empire. There's a big difference between the two. In the Roman Empire, they had Caesars to be their god. But in the Holy Roman Empire, we have the papacy. You see?
Okay. Okay.
So, 5 are fallen. 1 is, they are still under the Greek culture. They were still under the Greek language. Even if the government is Roman Empire, the nations around the Mediterranean speak Greek. The international language then was Greek, courtesy of Alexander the Great. When he conquered those nations, he spread the Greek culture. He spread the Greek culture to Egypt. That's why Ptolemy is Greek. He's a Greek general. He was not a Greek pharaoh. He just aspired to be pharaoh like Cleopatra. But they were all Greek. The Bible was written in Greek. The gospel was spread in Greek. Even the Old Testament was written in Greek. The Septuagint. The apostles recognized it. Christ recognized it. Even the Latin Holy Roman Empire got their wordings from the Greek. Jesus came from Greek first before it went into Latin. See? So, John was writing the book of Revelation in Greek. Do you know the proofs? That it's in Greek? You know the proofs? The proofs are, the book of Revelation has Alpha and Omega. It didn't give Aleph and Tau, but Alpha and Omega. There was even the Greek cities, Ephesus, Smyrna. They were Greek cities. They were in Turkey. Actually, they're the first country Alexander invaded to crush Persia. So the 7 churches in Asia are Greek. They may have their subcultures, they may have their local dialects, but the international language then was Greek. The book of Revelation gave references to Hebrew words and Greek words. You see? The book of Revelation interpreted certain words in Hebrew into Greek.
Okay.
So it's no wonder it's in the 6th head. 5 are fallen, 1 is. The 6th head has not yet fallen. We're not talking of emperors like Brother Jackson or empires like Brother Gam. We're talking of the spirit.
We're not talking about the imperial ruling. So we are talking about right now the language, the empire language. Is that right?
And the religious spirit.
Okay, and the religious spirit. So the language and the religious spirit.
Yes, how the language impacted the religious spirit. Did you know when Babylon conquered Israel, the Hebrew we know today is also mixed with Aramaic? The square lettering of Hebrews today are influenced by Chaldean letterings, which is their sister languages. When you read in the New Testament in Hebrew like that Hebrew is not literally old Hebrew. That's modern Hebrew. Modern Hebrew influenced by Aramaic. So Babylon has influence on the language, the religious language of the Jews. Now let's talk about Persian language. Did Persia have influence?
Let me clarify. Why you said you said while ago that in the time of John, when he you are driving the Greek language in the time of John. So are you saying that in the time of John, when he was writing the book of Revelation, he is in the seventh, or I mean, in
the sixth.
Sixth.
Yes.
He is in the sixth. One yet, not one yet.
Let me quote. Do you have the Bible? I'm going to quote, but you have to look it up in the Bible.
Yes.
Okay, open up your Bible. Revelation 17.
17 verse 11.
5 are fallen. 1 is, and the other is not yet come.
So, in verse, that is in verse 10.
You have to look it up.
And there are 7 things, 5 are fallen, and 1 is. 1 is in the time of John.
Yes.
Which is a Greek. That is also continuation of the Greek language. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
And then,
because the Greek language has 4 heads.
That is Latin. So in the time of John, there is no Latin. There is no Latin language. Or maybe it started, but it's not the ruling language at the time, because the Greek existed.
So during the time of John, the Latin language was just spoken by Pilate, by the Caesars, by the Roman governors. It would not be until the Catholic Church, the onset of the Catholic Church, that Latin would become the prevailing religious language.
Okay.
So
the Catholics, this is in the time of Dark Ages.
Precisely. Precisely.
During the time of the Dark Ages and the Holy Roman Empire. When did the time of the Holy Roman Empire start in the Dark Ages? Is it 400 or 300 AD?
Well, you can say 300, but there were no official pope yet. Catholics could list down the number of popes from the time of Peter, but in the time of Constantine, was he referring to a pope? No. You see, the time of Constantine, 300 AD, when he convened the council at Nicaea, there was no pope yet. Or else, he would have made reference to it. What was the last thing you heard? What was the last thing you heard?
The time of Peter is the time of Pope.
Catholics today could list down popes from the time of Peter.
Yes.
A dynasty of
popes.
Yes, yes, they could list down a dynasty of popes from the time of Peter. But my point is, during the time of Constantine, when he convened the council at Nicaea, was he referencing a pope then? None, right?
Okay.
Was Constantine deferring to any pope? What do you think? Please give me your point of view. In the time of Constantine, when he convened the council at Nicaea, was he deferring to any pope?
Yeah.
If he was deferring to any pope, who was the pope?
He merged the church and the states during his time.
But my question is, was he deferring to any pope? Was he deferring to any pope?
In my opinion, according to about
history.
To some churches, that Constantine the Great was included in the first book. So they were saying that Constantine was first book.
That's the claim of some Protestants.
Yes, yes.
We could agree to that. But I was answering the claim of the Catholics. The popes went far back. Yes. From Peter down the line, they had a string of popes that was uninterrupted.
So according to the Catholic Church, so you mean to say the Holy Roman Empire started in the time of Peter, according to their claim. Is that right?
Yes.
So that is 31, I think 31 BC.
Don't use the word Holy Roman Empire. That's our subject. The subtopic we're talking about is papacy. Papacy.
We are talking about the subject of the Holy Roman. When did it start? According to your explanation, the Holy Roman Catholic Church, their claiming started claiming the Pope. The first Pope was Peter.
So
that is in the time of the Apostolic era.
So the Catholic Church claims their beginnings from the time of Peter as the first Pope.
Yes, okay.
A while ago, I said, during the time of Constantine, was he deferring or referencing any Pope during the council that he convened at Nicaea?
No, I don't think so.
So,
I don't.
The reason I pointed that out is to refute the claim of the Catholics that there were a string of popes from the time of Peter.
Okay.
So, to answer when did the Scarlet Colored Beast, when did the Holy Roman Empire start, I would say at the time when they already had an overruling Pope. When we say overruling Pope, an overruler, he overrules all other churches. So it's only after Constantine sided with the Trinitarians of Athanasius that the Catholic Church, Holy Roman Catholic Church, would be organized. So before the time of Constantine, whoever they claim as Pope are just church fathers. Okay? So to continue, let me continue. You look for a date when they recognize the papacy as an overruling church bishop over other churches. Then that is the time you consider the beginnings of the Holy Roman Empire and the beginnings of the Scarlet, Crimson, Red Colored Beast.
So, holding in your standpoint, do you have exact reckoning time when did the Holy Roman Catholic Church claim the first Pope? Is it according to your explanation? Is it Constantine the Great, starting from the Constantine? After him.
That is the Protestant claim.
Yes.
But the Catholic do not claim Constantine as the Pope. The Catholics claim it was Peter as the first Pope.
Yes.
But you have to look at history. You look at history. When was the time that Rome became, or the Vatican came into being, and Rome became the overseer church, the overseeing church that overrules all other churches. You get the picture? It becomes the mother church. It becomes the source of authority. Then, that's the time you point out a time in history that the papacy began. That's the time when you consider it changed into the Holy Roman Empire. That's the time when it starts to get crimson. It starts to get red. It starts to drink the blood of the saints. You look at Fox Book of Martyrs. When would be the first time they start to persecute and martyr believers that do not agree with their doctrine?
I am confused. Sorry to interrupt you, Brother Francis. I am confused. Where really did start?
I gave you a criteria. You have to look at history. When was the time that they started to rule other churches? It could be at the time of Constantine. It could be afterwards. I would say it started gradually. They started conventions. They had meetings, bishops. They had councils. The councils of Constantinople, the council at Nicaea, starting from the council at Nicaea, it started many other councils. Those councils could be the beginning of the Roman Catholic Church, but it does not yet appear that there is an overruling papacy. So, when would the overruling papacy begin? You have to look at history. You look up the word papacy. You get down the list of popes, then you notice there was a growing influence. Remember, this does not come overnight. The development of this red beast of Revelation 17, when the woman would be riding her, would start out gradually. It does not start out immediately as overbearing, overruling bishop of all. It will start out gradually. So we do not have a definite fixed date. We do not have a definite fixed date. We only have an estimate, an approximation.
So you agree they start approximately 300 something, 400 to 600. Is that right? Or
300 is already the beginning. 300 AD is already the beginning. But 600 AD is more closer to the description of a woman riding the beast. From 5th to the 600 AD, that's when you could see a picture taking place of this scarlet-colored beast. The Thyatiran Church Age. The Thyatiran Church Age began around at that same time. 300 AD is under the Pergamean Church Age. So the Pergamean Church Age planted the seed which developed into the Thyatiran Church Age. The Thyatiran Church Age is where you read Jezebel. Jezebel as a prophetess. They look up on her. They look up on her to decide certain things. And you know, in the fourth parable, not the third, the fourth parable, there was a woman that hid leaven in 3 measures of meal. So the woman that hid leaven in 3 measures of meal is the same woman that was in the Thyatiran church age, Jezebel, the same woman in Revelation 17 that rode upon the beast and drank like wine the blood of the saints. So during the time of Constantine, it was not yet very apparent. The spirit started out there, but the persecution was not yet on full swing. Those that will be persecuted are non-Trinitarians, those that sided with Arius. The persecution could not be perfected in the time of Constantine. There was even a statement, if you could remember, being read, that the whole world groaned to find itself Arian. That means to say, Arius converted the barbarian kings. If Arius converted the barbarian kings, the Catholic Church as a Trinitarian church was not yet that powerful in the 3rd century. Her might and all powerfulness might would come in the Thyatiran church age, would be made apparent in the Thyatiran church age. The 5th moving on to the from the 6th being extinguished moving into the 7th. It's not the Roman Empire. From the 6th moving extinguished moving to the 7th would be from the Roman to the Holy Roman Empire. So the heads is different from the 4 beasts. Remember that. The 4 beasts would be the world empires up to the end. But there are some details within it. The details within it will comprise the 7 heads up to the end. There are 7 heads, and there's also an 8th head that is of the 7th. So these are details. These does not talk about the same thing as empires. This talks about religious spirit and languages. So, from the Greek, the last of the Greek influences, the Greek vestiges, from the last of the 4 heads, from the 4 heads, the last of it, of the leopard head, then it moves on to the dreadful and terrible beast. Sorry, let me correct myself. Then it moves on to the 7th head. The 7th head is a part also of the dreadful, terrible beast. By the way, let's talk about dreadful, terrible beast. The dreadful, terrible beast is still the Roman Empire.
Okay.
So it's not talking about the religious side. It's talking about the political side. But here, when you talk of 7 heads, you look upon Revelation 17, it talks about the whore, the harlot daughters. It's on the spiritual side, the ecclesiastical side.
So Revelation chapter 13 is this 7th head, which is the Roman Empire.
Revelation chapter 17.
13:1.
And 2. You notice.
You saw the beast rising from the sea, which would the head, diba?
No.
So this beast, this head is the 7th head.
Not 7th, but 7. 7 heads.
7 heads.
Yes. When you say 7th, you're talking about sequence of time, and it only references John in 17. John's writing in 17. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. But Revelation 13 does not talk about any reference in time. It doesn't say at the time of his writing, like that. Revelation 13 just gives a picture of this overall beast in its collective fullness. And when you say collective fullness, well, its potential already being manifested as a whole. You speak of the whole. There are already 7 heads there. You don't go nitpicking one of the heads. That's not the subject in Revelation 13. The subject in Revelation 13 is actually, if you want to compare it from John's Revelation 17, is around the time of, if the 7 heads are complete in its union, you can say it's already the 8th head. The 8th head is the time of the end. There is the nation of the United States of America. There is another beast that rose up out of the earth. The issue is no longer the first beast, but the issue is about the second beast. The issue is about these 2 beasts working together. One helping the other. One supporting the other. One giving life to the other. Brother Jackson went as far as to explain the Marshall Plan, how devastated Europe was revived by American dollars. But of course we're progressive. Now we see that this beast, lamb beast, that spake like a dragon, coming out of the earth, what it supported is not just the United Nations, it's not just Europe, it is an image to the beast. He took what the first beast had and made another image of it. America has had its own version of the first beast, an image of the beast.
When the Bible when we say the image is the image of the beast, it is a replica only.
Yes, it's not exactly the same as the first beast. That's why if you read the book of Revelation, those who will go to the lake of fire will worship the beast or his image. There is an or, you see, or receive the mark in its forehead or in its hand. That's another aspect. But you could worship the first beast. You could also worship the replica or the image of the first beast. Now the image right now we're talking about is not some statue. It's not some idol that they would bow down to. It is a spirit, a Babylonian spirit of the world. So, the spirit, this Babylonian spirit that will take over the whole world is that image. You see, people in the world could unite in solidarity, though their beliefs are not the same, but they have some common cause. Example, saving the planet, Greenpeace. There is what we talked about before, the world view, the world perspective, a new world, a new age thinking. So that is the image of the first beast. The first beast is more conservative. The second beast is more liberal. I talked about United States having a Democratic Party and a Republican Party. Did you know those are the union of Greek and Roman governments? Greek votes directly. They call it democracy. The people's government. The people in Athens that vote directly.
The first beast. Why are you saying that the first beast is, you said a while ago, The first beast is I forgot. And then you said that the second beast, which is America, is Democrats. You have a word. I forgot the word.
Republic. Res publicos.
No, the first beast. The first beast.
The first beast is more conservative, I said.
Oh, yeah, conservative.
The first beast, the government of Rome is republicanism.
Republican.
Yes.
Republicanism.
Did you know that the whole earth is patterned after that already? Whether even if you're a communist state, even those communists who reject the West, they don't know they're copying the image of the beast. You see, we have parliaments, we have a Congress, we have Senate. Republicanism, res publicos, started out in Rome. So they do not vote directly, they vote for representatives. That's why represent the public, res publicos, republicans. Now you understand the word republic, represent the public.
The people.
So there are representatives of the public. Now, democracy, demos is people, and crazy is government, like theocracy, autocracy, okay, bureaucracy. It's a kind of government. So democracy is a form of government where people vote directly for their leader. Republicanism is a form of government where people vote for representatives in the government. You have these groups today in the Philippines, party list system. It's just like voting for representatives. Hello?
So there's a difference from government. Conservative.
These governments have united. That's why the United States has built an image of that. They've made a better image of that from Europe. They escaped Europe to the Masonry. Masonry strove to make a brave new world, a brave new system, a world system wherein people will have freedom. Of course, that freedom does not necessarily mean it is of God.
Is it right or applicable the word order applicable to the America?
Yes,
or
precisely.
The term rightly used in the time of the millennium.
So there is a new world system, the new world order, that is also the image of the first beast.
New world order?
Yes. We talked about that before in Binondo. The new world order is a new world perspective, a new kind of government, a new kind of UN, a new kind of world peace and brotherhood. Much better than the first beast, when there were persecutions, wars, and strifes. They strove to make a new, better world in the United States. They fled Europe to go to the United States for freedom. This freedom has been used by God, but it's also being used by the devil. You see, this freedom, some groups think that the United States was founded on the tenets of the Bible. But they failed to realize the first government, the first United States revolutionary government that gained independence from England was under Masonry. It was Masonry that gave them their freedom. Yes. What they thought was Christian was actually Masonry trying to flee the Catholic Church, trying to flee the stripes of Europe. And Masonry brought this freedom. Temporarily, it was used by Christians. That's why they recognized it. Oh, this God-fearing nation. This nation has been blessed by God. That's true. But they failed to realize it was all under the guise of Masonry. So one day, this land nation will speak like a dragon. Because this freedom will be taken so far to an extent. It's a rival to the first beast, remember. It will be taken so far to an extent that reprobates, corruption, demoralization will happen to the masses, and they will infect the world. Their corruption will infect the world. The devil will push it on the other side.
So we're talking about the American, the foundation of the America.
The foundation of the American government out of freedom is not exactly Christian. It was temporarily used by Christians. It helped the Christians, but it's originally intended to give birth to the dragon.
I have a question. Who really founded the Masonry? Is that the Catholic Church? Who really founded the Mason?
It's a long story. We have 8 minutes left. I will just summarize it like this. Masonry comes from the guilds of union of workers that made the churches, the pillars, the Freemasons. When you hear Freemasons, they're independent workers. They're really Masons. They're really work builders. But they got connected to the what was that group? The Cathars, no. What was that group that held in the books of Dan Brown? The Knights Templars. Okay. It was connected to that. These Knights Templars were also connected to an older guild system. An older guild system of secret societies. There was a book about that. The group, I bought a book of that and I placed it in the library. The key of who was the Mason of Solomon? Key of letter H. I forgot his word. The key of not Hammurabi. Well, anyway, I just gave you a short description of that. I'm not gonna go into that detail. I'm gonna wrap up what we've talked about. The scarlet, crimson, red colored beast had its beginning in the Holy Roman Empire. The description of the Holy Roman Empire is Latin, the seventh head, from John's writing. It's now Revelation 17 is in the Dark Ages. Revelation 13 is in the end times. And how do I know that? Because Revelation 13 talks about the beast that was wounded until death. Armstrong interpreted that wounding unto death as the fall of the Roman Empire. Armstrong is looking at it politically. Now, the beast that was wounded unto death could be applied to the Roman Empire, but we know the Bible, as a master key, has many parallels. One major parallel of its wounding unto death is the spiritual wound. When the Protestants rose up against the Catholic Church, they declared their independence. It almost was the time, or it almost brought forth the the fall of the Roman Catholic Church. It almost. And the Seventh-day Adventists also quoted some history that Napoleon imprisoned certain popes. So for them, it's the wounding of the head. Well, whatever it is, it has many factors. The Jesuits, the Catholic Church, they were infamous then. There was a time of infamy. They're being wounding. There was a time the Pope decided the fate of all kings in Europe. But there was a time they almost had independence, that the Pope was just an arbiter, a mediator between these kings. If you read your Philippine history, Portugal and Spain were superpowers then, maritime superpowers. The Pope, the papacy believed the world was flat, and they imprisoned Galileo for that. That was their power then. They persecuted Copernicus for that. They killed Giordano Bruno for that. But in the time of colonization, when Spain and Portugal were rivals in grabbing hold many colonies all over the earth, the Philippines included, that there was a treaty by the Pope, a treaty of Tordesillas, if you can research that. This treaty was a settlement between Spain and Portugal, which spheres of influence they will have. He divided the world between these two superpowers then. So you could see there that the papacy losing its power. Instead of being the overruling leader, he just became an arbiter. He just became a mediator between these two kings. There was time the papacy could remove a king from its place. So Brother Jackson spoke of that in the Contender. So that wounding was in the past tense in Revelation 13. So in Revelation 13, that's the end time chapter. The beast is not scarlet colored, because he will never have any chance to nuke everyone to death, even though he has the capability of nuking everyone to death. He had that overwhelming capability to destroy this world many times over. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened. Those days will be shortened. This end time beast will be the one that will start World War III.
That's the end time beast.
Yes, this end time beast. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened. So why is the Revelation 17 beast more scarlet colored? It's because Revelation 17 was this Dark Ages beast. This beast in the Dark Ages. So let's summarize it up. I have 1 minute to go. The Daniel beast, Daniel 7 beast, is in the Old Testament. The Roman Empire until the time of John. The Revelation 17 beast started out from the 6th going to the 7th head. The 6th going to the 7th head is the Holy Roman Empire beast, the Latin beast. The beast that is scarlet because the woman that rode her drank of the blood of the saints. When she drank the blood, you can imagine those blood pouring down her lips to her dress to the beast that she was riding on. And the beast was participant in killing the saints. In the Revelation 13 beast, you don't see it scarlet color because it's politically motivated. It's politically motivated. The religious side is just a mask. And this is the mistake of some Seventh-day Adventists, some Protestants, or some anti-match believers, that the squeezing time will come because of your beliefs. No, it will be because of some political beliefs. The two prophets that will come out will be political. Even though they're religious, they would prophesy politically. They will affect the political climate of the time.